Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to Africa Development Network. I am glad to be here today. It's been a wonderful sessions. We've been receiving a lot of signals, a lot of information from our numerous listeners and those who have been able to get across to our YouTube channel. And if you're just getting across this video for the very first time, my name is Rev.Barr.ikenna Emmanuel. I am the vision bearer of African Development Network. We decided to create this platform so that we could assist Africans everywhere, all over the world, to gain a whole lot of experience, expose us to certain valuable information that we give back to the transformation of our continent. I want us to realize that this is the time for Africa to develop. It's time, after more than 55 years of several African nations that have received their independence from their colonial masters, it looks as if there is a kind of an economic recolonization over the continent of Africa. And we cannot allow that to happen again in this season. I've been doing a series which I titled The Role of Religious Institutions in National Development. I have sat down to realize that as long as, let's say, take, for example, the nation of Nigeria, we have close to about 80 million Christians in Nigeria, and we also have more than 50 million Muslims in Nigeria. If these religious organizations, religious institutions can put a whole lot of wisdom and expertise that they have, I believe there's going to be the transformation of Nigeria. And this also applies to different nations, whether it's South Africa, East Africa, North Africa, or West African countries like Cameroon, like Liberia, like Ghana. And I've come to realize, especially the church, my focus has been on the church. After I am done with the church, I'm going to talk about Muslims, Islam, and then different other religions. And I want us to know one thing is that, just like, for instance, we have Nigeria is the hub of spiritual development. There's a lot of spiritual development that have actually happened in Nigeria. We have big churches like Apostolic Church, the Catholic Church, the Winners Chapel, Living Faith, my God servant, Dr. David Oyedepo. We have a Redeemed Christian Church of God, Mountain of Fire. We have Daystar Christian Center, to mention but a few. And my argument and my position in this regard is that it looks as if because of the COVID-19, it has actually exposed the church to the need for us to move away from the four walls of our church wall and begin to influence the society. It's important for us to bring our wisdom together. You could imagine the landmark university that is owned by Winners Chapel and the Covenant University. These are heavyweight institutions that within a certain space of time, they have actually made impact. So why can't we reproduce it in northern Nigeria? Why can't we reproduce it in southern Nigeria, in eastern Nigeria? Listen, it's high time we forget about whatever denomination that we all came up from and then look at this particular one, a challenge that the African continent is experiencing. And in the last video that I did, which you need to get, for those of you who have not been able to come across the videos, please look at the like button, like the video. You also need to subscribe for further editions of our broadcast, and also need to share to your friends. You need to also look at the website that is on the screen, just go there, www.i-goldafrica.com, and there you know a lot of things that we're doing. And you need to also look at the number that is on the WhatsApp. If you're not in Nigeria, +234 803 500 3594. If you're in Nigeria, 0803 500 3594. Our main focus in Africa Development Network is to see how we could network entrepreneurs, startups, business people, local people, community-centered individuals who are committed, who have this burden and this passion to bring forth the transformation of our continent, Africa. I have this confidence in my heart that it will come to a point in Africa that people from China, in fact, it's already happening. China, they're going to come over to this place, the United Kingdom, United States. That's why there's a lot of struggle. There's a lot of fight to see who takes over the continent of Africa. The COVID-19 challenge has opened up a lot of frontiers. And that's why I'm saying that churches should get involved immediately. And in the last edition of my broadcast, I said there are about 8 areas that the church must get involved at this particular point in time in the history of the African continent. And I said number 1 has to do with the issue of getting involved in policy making. Policy development is a very critical point, but I'm not going to talk about policy making now. The second part of it has to do with the health development sector. I'm not going to talk about that now. I'm going to be talking about what I think that is very paramount at this particular point in time, which is the food or agro business, the agro development sector, the agro sector. I decided to do this because of the challenges that I saw that happened just a couple of 3 weeks or about 6 weeks ago. And because of the COVID-19, there was a lot of scarcity of food. Food was a lot of challenge for several families, and a lot of people had to pay a lot of price for food. And because over time we have neglected the issue of agriculture, and it has actually affected the continent of Africa. I want us to know that whosoever that controls the food will definitely control the people. We have close to about 190 million, close to about 190, 200 million people in Nigeria. And Africa is housing a greater portion of the world populace. Because of this, it is imperative that the church begin to look at the issue of agriculture. This pandemic, global pandemic, COVID-19 has exposed us to the need for food. People who were no more bothered about what they are putting on. Nobody was actually bothered about the perfume that they are wearing. Nobody was actually worried about a lot of other things. But their attention was focused on food. Very important. And I have 4 children. I have 4 children, and I have close to about 8 people staying with me and other people working together with me. I had to go and buy rice. I had to go and get beans. I had to go and get a lot of things to give as palliatives. And man, these things began to tickle in my heart. And I was like, wow, this is a very important sector that the church must get involved. We must get involved. And you, if you are able to get across to this video, and you're a senior pastor, you're a general overseer, I believe that this video is there to inspire you. If you're not even a general overseer, you're a church person and you have the funds and you're into entrepreneurship, it is important for us to work together to see how we could establish different aspects of agro-business. And from there, we can assist our church people, we can get young people, get involved into this business. And it's going to do a whole lot of work in the development of Africa, in the transformation of the people that come across us. So for today, I have decided to explain to us in a nutshell. I'm not going to finish it because I'm going to do 2 videos today. I'm going to do 2 videos today because I won't be able to exhaust what I have for you. And I'm going to take it bit by bit so that we will not muddle up everything together. I listed about 20 agro businesses that can be done in Africa. 20 agro businesses that the church, because I'm talking about the role of the church in national development. 20 agro businesses that the church can involve themselves in so that we could deal with the issue of food. There's a lot of hunger. People are not interested again in what you're preaching for them. People are not interested again when you're in the church preaching. They are just worried because there is no food. But once we have a lot of persons who need to get into agriculture and a lot of persons who are going to get into agro businesses, we'll come to realize that the issue of hunger will be dealt with. So I'm going to be doing the part A of these 20 businesses, and then later in the day, I'm going to be doing the part B. So please make sure you subscribe, make sure you talk to your friends about that, and make sure you do the link, and we get going. And I'm going to be teaching from the board. Remember that this is from Africa Development Network. And before I go ahead, sorry about that. This Africa Development Network is powered by iGold Africa. iGold means Initiative for Good Governance, Leadership and Economic Development. And it's also powered by the Faith House Transformation Assembly, which is the church that I pastor, and the Leeds Limited, Business and Finance Limited. I'm going to be teaching you, so if you have your pen, you have a paper around you should have, so you can jot out these things. I have to list them down so that I will not miss out anyone while I talk. All right? The first business that is recommended if we want to develop Africa, if we want to make a lot of money, is number one is the rice farming. The rice farming, I know you may not be able to see the board, but the rice farming business. This is the business that churches can get involved in. We can look at places, we can involve ourselves in commercial agriculture when it has to do with rice farming. Over 185 million Nigerians. Let me give an example. Sorry, I'm trying to use Nigeria as an example, but it's also applicable to all African nations. Over 90 million Nigerians, including you that is watching this video, eat rice at least every Sunday. At least every Sunday. Rice is like a staple food for all families in Africa. So you find out that we have the necessary land environment, we have the necessary comfortable environment that will allow rice to grow. So it's imperative that we begin to look at the issue of rice business. Could you imagine a big church? Could you imagine a church buying an espace of land and then planting rice, and from that place we begin to grow? There's a lot of support and grants that the federal government have always made available when it has to do with the issue of rice business. So rice business is one of the businesses that churches, I'm talking about the role of the church in national transformation. The second part of it has to do with the issue, with the issue of number two is agro-produce exportation. I'm talking about cocoa, bitter cola, nutmeg, and other products like that. You find out that these are all cash crops that are available in Africa that we can actually take advantage of and begin to export. Why people are bothered about forex trading, why people are bothered about different sectors of businesses and all that, and they are watching the stock market falling down, we can actually get involved in this exportation. There is nothing wrong if a church begins to grow our cocoa, begins to get into cash crops and begin to export them and begin to make money. And from there, we're going to get the young people become part of the production process, and it's going to reduce unemployment. The third one has to do with the yam flour business. The yam flour business. So time have actually gone, and where young men need to know a good wife by allowing or asking her to pound yam. A lot of persons can actually get into yam business. Is that you can buy it? Let's say, for instance, in Nigeria, we have a Benue State that has a whole fertile line for yam. You can actually grow yam anywhere through modernized agriculture. All you just need is just to what? Collect the yam from the place, peel it up, place it outside, dry it in a very hygienic environment, and then take it to where it's going to be grounded. And by the time you finish grounding it, you can actually package it in different formats, and from that place, you begin to sell. You can actually do it on a local platform and then begin to distribute state by state. From that place, the churches can actually do something and begin to export. And people will come in, jobs will be created, and before you know it, we're gradually getting there because people are now interested in staple food. Like yam, from that place, we can grow our businesses. All right, I'm trying to be as fast as possible. I promise I'm going to give you 20 of them. Let's look at the next one. Has to do with the bean flour. The bean flour business. I like beans. I like beans a lot. The bean flour business. People can actually look at northern part of the country of Nigeria and different places, and from that place we'll get the seedlings and then get some tutorials and get some trainings and begin to grow beans. Technology has actually made everything very, very simple, that anything can grow anywhere. But there are places where it grows naturally. We can actually get from that place. And then all you just need, if you want to start up an entrepreneurship business in that area, is just for you to get the beans, get about a paint bucket of custard, and then take it to where you're going to sun it, sun-dry it, and then ground it and convert it to powder. People now use it to do, they prefer to use it to do moi moi or akara, what we call local beans flour. From that place, you can actually make a lot of money. Churches can get involved in that, and before you know it, it's going to become a large market because people don't have time. There's a lot of persons that are busy now. Instead of staying about 3 hours, peeling beans, washing beans, you can actually do that, and from that place, we make a lot of money. Wow. We can also get into, if you have a lot of capital, big business. The pig farming. The pig farming is another wonderful business that the church can actually get involved in. The pig, it takes about 4 to 6 months for a pig to mature. If you have a lot of capital in that regard, and you know one thing about pigs, they can give birth to about 16, 15, and then from that place, you have to get your piglet, and before you know it, you begin to make a lot of money, and you begin to grow. These, I think I've said about number 5. I've said about number 5 of those businesses. There are about 20 of them that I want every church to get involved when it has to do with the development of Africa. These are the things that we have opportunities, and we have the privileges of our environment to grow and make money. It's time people can be employed from there. Crime can be reduced in our continent, especially Nigeria. Hello, I'm going to be stopping there. Please make sure you get connected in the next video, because I just did about 6 of them, and I told you that I have about 20 agro businesses that churches can get involved. And from that place, we're going to reach out to people. From that place, we're going to cut down hunger. From that place, we're going to develop our country. From that place, we're going to bring people into the kingdom. And this is a wake-up call. Churches can do it. The 2 churches can combine resources. Individuals can combine resources. Church organizations can combine resources, because agriculture in a large scale is not something that one person can do. If you want to go far, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with somebody. The power of synergy is very, very important. Let's drop all our religion. Let's drop all our challenges. Let's drop all our doctrinal issues on arguments on Facebook and on WhatsApp. Let's drop all these things that we're saying, and let's come together and build a strong force in the area of food production in Africa. I believe that this video has actually inspired you. Please make sure you click on the like button, and then share to your friends, share to your pastor, share to your GO, share to your departmental heads, share to everyone around you. Remember, this is Africa Development Network that is powered by iGold Africa. iGold means Initiative for Good Governance, Leadership and Economic Development, and then Faith House Transformational Assembly, and then Leeds Faith House Company Limited, which was formerly COSEC, joined that together. Our commitment is to see that Africa develops. And my focus today, as I earlier announced in this broadcast, is the role of the church as a catalyst for national transformation. Please make sure you hook up to this video network, because I'm going to talk about the role of Islam, how Muslims can actually get involved to make sure that the issue of development of Africa comes to realization. All right, I am done with this class. Please make sure that you hook up to us before the end of the day, because I told you that today I'm going to be doing 2 videos, and I've just done part 1, and I'm going to finish up with the part 2. I remain your friend and your brother, Rev.Barr.ikenna Emmanuel. See you, and like that post, link to your friends, call us on WhatsApp, let's connect together. Look at the phone number on the screen. Let's connect together and see that Africa gets development. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.